And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man DL Saint. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Downrange Podcast. Y'all see it up here, right? Downrange Podcast. So we're about, we're going to be talking about relationships. And Downrange is normally, we save this segment of I really want to know for political stuff, right? We just, we're going to talk political stuff. We'll call it Downrange Podcast. And actually, the first podcast I ever tried to put together was Downrange Podcast. We were doing like live and studio type stuff. We just couldn't handle the technical aspects of it. So here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are with I really want to know, because I was trying to work out a way to do the in-studio stuff and talk about politics. But in the meantime, I'm like, well, I just started another podcast, man. We'll call it I Really Want to Know, which then I could talk about everything. And that's how we got both. So normally when I talk relationships, we're going to be talking about passport bros and sisters, passport men and women, right? Normally that would be kind of under I Really Want to Know. It's kind of like a subtopic, but relationships, or I guess I should say the lack of successful relationships in America is becoming more political because of the ramifications this has with the nuclear family, the traditional breadwinners and stuff like that. Like it's affecting how people vote. It's affecting how people address political issues. A lot of that comes down to America's not being able to find happiness in relationships, and it's making us mad. It's making us angry. You know what I mean? It affects our society. People having kids and having to go through family court. People getting divorced. So I'm like, all right, you know what? We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this on Downrange. Brother 90's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Always a pleasure to see you, man. I hope you guys were here yesterday, man. We had Sister May Ling, Marcus with May. That was a great episode. I can't wait to get her back. Just to talk about what's going on with the financial world. And she gave a lot of great gems in that show. If you guys haven't seen that episode, that podcast, man, please go check it out. It was a good show, and I can't wait to bring her back because we're gonna have a more focused conversation next time. Just so you guys know, pretty much everyone agrees across the board that the recession is coming. It's not a question of if, it's when, and how long, and how deep it's going to be. So we're going to definitely be talking a lot more about finances, especially as we get into this deeper into this election cycle, because it's I think it's going to be bad. Right now on PBD podcast, Patrick Bet David, George Gammon's on there, along with the South African guy. I didn't catch his name. And they were having a real in-depth conversation on what's going on with global monetary policies, what's going on with, like the American Wall Street, the American financial institutions and all that kind of stuff. Like just trying to figure all that out. Really good conversation. I'm definitely going to be breaking that down Wednesday. I wanted to break it down tomorrow. I'm watching the episode right now. I'm gonna do it on Wednesday because tomorrow we're gonna have the last good man in Jersey is gonna be on the show, and we're gonna be talking about traveling and people leaving the country to find love, which is gonna kind of dovetail with what we're talking about today. I saw a couple articles that I wanted to bring up. So thanks for coming through. And brother Knight was like, yes, money talk. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. This debt ceiling thing, this ginned up crisis, which really, I just don't see America defaulting on its debt. And they were talking about that on PBD as well. Yeah, it was a very, very in-depth, very comprehensive conversation. And they were exploring a whole bunch of things. And I had to stop watching. They were talking about Elon Musk and the CEO he hired to run Twitter, who's apparently extremely liberal and all this. I kind of stopped listening at that point. Not that I'm not interested, but I'm not interested. Brother Mandrell's in the house, man. What's good, fam? That was a fantastic episode. Dale saying I really want no podcast. Yeah, bro. Try to do more. I had, we had Sushu on, and then we were able to follow up with Sister May Ling, and then I'm out here looking for more more women to talk to. It's a great conversation. I love getting the other side. And when you sit down and you talk to women, for those of us who just not out here trying to smash, right? Like I really want to know what they're thinking because men and women do think differently. We think alike on some things, but we look differently on others. That gives you an opportunity to a have a total look at something. They might be able to point something out that maybe was in a blind spot with your philosophy, and B, they're going to push back and challenge your philosophy and forces you to think. And that's what I really want. I want to do that. I want to be forced to think. Brother Casual Germs in the house was good, fam. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope all is well. Yeah, man. So let's get into it. I saw this article today in the New York Post, and that's going to be the third article we look at. But there's a couple of things I want to look at before we get to that article. And I was reading that thing, man, and I'm just kind of looking at it again. Being out here in the dating world, a single dad, being out here in the trenches, jumping out of the trenches and running through no man's land, trying to talk to women, dealing with that. I make a lot of World War One, and I make a lot of war references. Period. Lately, I've been talking about World War One a lot, no man's land, trenches, and stuff like that. But here's the thing: the dating landscape has drastically changed over the past 10, 15 years. Drastically changed. Going back to MySpace, and then when social media took hold, it's a brand new world out here, y'all. It's a brand new world. And for those who are in, long-term relationships, man, good for you. Try to make those things work. Try to stay that way. For those of us who are stuck out here in the trenches and have to deal with no man's land, man, it's hard. It's hard. And a lot of people are failing in their endeavors to get with someone, especially here in America. It seems all the numbers are really bad numbers, and all these indicators are lagging. They can't really. I mean, they can kind of tell you what's going on today, but it takes time for a relationship to either work or not work. So right now they just appear to be not working. So let's get into this article, this grouping of articles that I found. So before we get into the New York Post article, which is really just an advertisement for a new TV show, but I just found it was kind of fascinating. What's going on with this? We're going to start here. The week in patriarchy relationships, hilarious. This is The Guardian. So, and I think this was from last year. Why young men falling out of love with romantic relationships. So why have young men fallen out of love with romantic relationships? Of course, this is written by a millennial, I believe. So yeah, and it says that men aren't naturally stoic. They're just taught from a young age that emotions are for girls, and then people wonder why young men are so lonely. All right, well, we're gonna delve into this a little bit. We're gonna delve into this just a little bit. So yeah, why are so many young men single? Sachs numerous studies show is going out of fashion. So I have been hearing this a lot. Young people have not been trying to get on like that. Like young people have not been smashing. Young men have not been. The numbers show that young men are more and more sexless. Young women, the numbers haven't changed that much. Young women are still engaging, but young men are not. Which, again, is like, how's that possible? We'll delve into it. And it says, young people aren't shagging as much anymore. The phenomenon has been widely blamed on technology and online porn. And it's not just sexual activity that's declining. Young men in the U.S. appear to have fallen out of love with romantic relationships. Right. So that seemed to be the theme of this particular article. I will push back a little bit. I don't think the men have fallen out of love with romantic relationships. They just don't want to put in the work. It's difficult. They don't want to hear no. I mean, we talk about this all the time. We have a generation of people who everyone gets a trophy. You have a generation of kids out here who becoming adults where mommy and daddy took care of everything. Well, now they're out there on their own and they don't know how to do anything. So they don't want to go out and hear no. So they're just giving up. That's my take on it. Let me see. A recent Pew Research study found that 63% of men under 30 describe themselves as single, compared with 34% of women in the same age bracket. Um, yeah, so cue a lot of dramatic headlines about, as the Hill put it, the larger breakdown in social, romantic, and sexual life of the American male. I imagine the Hill's referring to the heterosexual American male here, but Pew also looked at people who identify as LGB, and found 62% of LGB men report being single, compared to 37% of LGB women. So yeah, you're looking at that, men, both in the alternative lifestyle, I guess we can call it, or whatever, and the traditional lifestyle, heterosexual lifestyle, are not engaging in sexual activity. Before we delve deeper into the sexual life of the American male, I'd like to point out that Pew Research study was also conducted last summer, but they republished the findings in the Valentine's Day listicle. This caught the attention of someone at the Hill, who wrote an article headline, "Most Young Men Are Single." So this is, y'all can tell right now that this is not real news. It's more of an opinion. Um, and it sounds like this is coming from someone in Britain, because they're, making sure to point out that they're talking about Americans here. So it is what it is. But it just kind of continues to, it goes on here. Most young men are single, most young women are not. A screenshot of the article then went viral because, well, those numbers don't really make much sense, do they? And I did read that article that she's talking about. Unlike China and India, where men outnumber women by 70 million, there are about the same number of young men as women in the U.S. who are all young. So who are all the young women dating? Pete Davidson, West Elm collab. Nobody seems entirely sure for the reason for the giant relationship gap. But the most popular theory is that young women are more likely to be dating older men, right? So that's one theory. Dating older men, that could be a thing. Okay. Another rather overblown theory is that the gay agenda is working, and considering 1/5 of Gen Z identifies as queer, all the young women are dating each other. Another issue potentially feeding into the data discrepancy is the fact that there could be uh, gender differences in how people define a committed relationship. The Pew definition of single is those who are not married, living with a partner, or in a committed relationship. All right, so that makes sense. It could be people who they don't they disagree on how to define single. They could be same sex women, like, just kind of doing their thing, experimenting, or women could be dating older men. One thing this doesn't mention is what we're going to get into, especially when you get to older women. Like, older women are leaving the United States looking for love in other countries. So that's, we're gonna definitely look at that as well. Brother D Max in the house, what's good, fam? How you feeling? Good to see you. Glad you could come through. So we got that. Brother Pitney's in the house as well. What's good, fam? Women are sharing the same men, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Facts. That's really what it boils down to, right? That kind of gets into the whole hypergamy thing, which we talk about a lot over here. The Manosphere talks about that all the time. Women want the best. So when women go out there going for guys, and that's why most of the young women especially say the same thing about women. They're all no good. They're all cheating. They're doing this and that, because they're all going after the same guy. So that whole, I use 80-20 rule. Some people use 90-10, but basically the majority of women are all focused on the minority of men. They're looking at the guys who are very successful. It could be they want a guy who's tall. We all know the numbers on that. I think it's 14, maybe 15% of the entire U.S. population is over 6 feet, right? So if you want a guy who's 6 feet, you've already eliminated 85% of the country, right? They want people like with six figures, 6 figures or more. So when you do that, you're still around, 12, 13, 14% of single Americans make over 6 figures or more. And then, of course, women want, the more money you make, the lower that percentage is. The taller the guy is, the smaller that percentage becomes. And then being fit. Everyone seems to want someone who is fit. But 75% of America is either obese or overweight in this country. And I think that number has gone up. I'm using stats that are pretty old at this point, So I haven't seen the latest numbers to come out, but if you're looking for someone who is tall, who is fit, and who is making a lot of money, that's going to put you into the top really 10, 15%. I like to say top 20 because there are a lot of guys out there who are not tall, who don't make a lot of money, who are not necessarily ripped, shredded, but they're good at hollering at women. They got game. So I throw those guys in there, even though they're not wealthy, um, highly educated, or anything like that. I throw them in there because they're getting women. So, the majority of men are just failing at getting women. The numbers bear it out. People are trying to figure out why. But you're right, Brother Pitney. The bottom line is these women are messing with the same dudes. So, like I look at this stuff all the time, and I know a lot of people get tired of hearing this thing, but it's like, bro, this is a problem. This is a problem that's going to feed into other problems here in America. It's hard for people to save money. Why? Because everyone's split up. You can save more money and do more things and have a better lifestyle if you're with someone. That's just how it works. If you're with someone who is on your level. If you're a guy out here making $80,000 a year or $50,000 a year or wherever, let's say like here in Florida, I think the average man makes $51,000 a year. That's the average dude. Well, if he's with a woman who's making $50,000 a year, together they're making six figures. In theory, they can buy themselves a place. They can save money, especially if they put their heads together and they work out what's best for them. And then they can plan, maybe have kids. You can kind of do that. There's still parts of Florida where you can buy some homes. You look at what's going on in the markets. The housing market is starting to do this in Florida. The prices have kind of peaked, leveled out, and they're starting to go down. Why? The interest rates are so high. That's why. And we're coming into a recession. Everyone is anticipating unemployment numbers to go up big time. They think unemployment numbers are going to go up. George Gammon today on the Patrick Bet-David podcast was saying that there are estimates as high as double-digit unemployment, which makes sense. There's going to be a lot of belt tightening with these corporations because money is expensive. Corporate real estate is they say on the brink of collapse. They're saying that the corporate real estate crash is going to be worse than the 2008 housing bubble crash in residential real estate. So there is a lot going on out here. And I think personally, when this recession hits, women are going to start to drop their standards because times are going to get hard and they're going to realize, because women are smart, like, you know what? I need somebody. So forget about the top tier guy. Let me go get this dude over here who has this job at the post office, or let me get this dude over here who has this recession-proof job with the government, and we can get together and kind of build something, right? And guys, be careful for that. You know what I mean? You dudes out there who haven't had a lot of successful women, be careful when these women start coming for you, because the recession isn't going to last long. It lasts maybe 4 or 5 years, something like that. And when it's over, she's really not into you. She might leave you. Keep in mind, most women initiate breakups, and 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women. So keep that in mind. That's for another conversation. But to continue on with the article, it goes on to say, while we may never solve the mystery behind the relationship gap, there's been a lot of handwriting about these numbers, mainly from conservative circles who take this as evidence that feminism is the modern world, particularly porn, has emasculated young men. All right. So obviously you can see whoever wrote this article, you can see where they're sitting there, right? It seems to me that this particular author is saying that feminism has nothing to do with this gap. Well, all right. You can say feminism doesn't have anything to do with it. I would definitely disagree with you. I'm not saying that being hypergamous is necessarily means you're feminist, but that's part of it. That's part of it. Women controls who gets the Foxy Brown. Bottom line, point blank, period. Women control that. Men control who gets the marriage, get the ring, get the relationship. So if women are having sex at higher rates than men, that just tells you they are giving that Foxy Brown up. Who they're giving the Foxy Brown up to the top tier guys, right? And that can be tied back to being a boss babe, and I can do what I want to do. I'm living my best life. I'm having my 304 phase and all that other stuff, right? All I get, it could, but every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We're gonna see in some other articles what that reaction looks like. So Seth Dillon, for example, the founder of the conservative satire site Babylon B tweeted, young women are dating each other or older men in record numbers. As a result, 60% of young men are single and lonely. It's probably hard to overstate how serious this problem is. All right. It is what it is. Man, this I get, when you get these oops, wrong one. When you get these articles, you try to read these articles and they hit you with all these advertisements and I don't even know how to make them go away. Let me see. Oh, can I make it go away? Oh, so I did this before and up there, it went away. Cool. Cool. I get it. They got to make money. I get it. They have to make money and I ain't mad at them, but sometimes it just makes it difficult to do what we want to do. Um, So yeah, like this Seth Dillon thing. You got a lot of guys on the right who conservative dudes. I think they take it a bit too far, but there's truth in what they're saying. 60% of young men are single and lonely. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that. Right. So even if the numbers are 60-40, it's still the majority of guys are left in the code. Um, is that really true though? The article continues. I'm not denying that there is a serious that there's a serious and worrying epidemic of loneliness among young American men, but you don't need to be in a relationship to be happy. I think that rather than focusing on young men being single, the real problem is the fact that men don't have friends. Only 21% of men, for example, said they receive emotional support from a friend within the past week, compared to 41% of women, according to the 2021 survey. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's definitely some truth to that. Um, and hey guys, I was trying to read this thing and another ad popped up. There's definitely some truth to that. And instead of fighting these ads for the next hour, I'm just gonna kind of leave it there. There are surprisingly large numbers of young men out there who don't have friends. That kind of blew me away. Like I remember reading some articles. I'm like, man, there's a lot of dudes out there that don't have friends. That's why the RP world and manosphere world is booming right now. I found personally that most of the men that I encounter in these spaces are really they're looking for two things. They're looking for leadership, right? They're looking for leadership, and they're looking for friends, companionship, right? They're looking for a tribe, which men need. Men need a tribe, a gang, a clique. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it, a cohort. They need a group of men, that can understand the struggle, and they can come together and bond over a beer or over cigars or whatever. Go out and kick it, whatever. But these young men also need to realize that they are at a disadvantage because they weren't allowed to go out and socialize. They weren't allowed to go out there and figure out how the world works, in real time. They were stuck in the house. And then you had, mom and dad bulldozing, hovering, and all that kind of stuff. So they couldn't get out there and engage in the real world. So yeah, and it's I'm gonna I am going to put this article in the chat if you guys want to go back and read it, because it's going to be hard to get through it because they're going to keep dropping them ads in there. And that's how they get people to subscribe. Basically subscribe and we'll drop these, we'll get rid of these ads so you can read our stuff. But so I dropped it in there, it's in the chat. Now, if you want to go back and check that article out, but that is a huge factor. There's a lot of young guys out there who don't have friends. They don't have that male companionship. They haven't gotten out there and done like male stuff. They weren't young boys out there smack fighting. You know what I mean? We used to play, we would watch, and Brother Mangella probably like this, like to hear this. When we were young, we would watch like Kung Fu Theater. It would come on every day on one of the affiliates in Cincinnati. And then we'll go outside and we'll Kung Fu each other for like 3 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Just making the Kung Fu noise, punching and kicking each other, just being kids. We were in elementary school doing that. We would wrestle. We would play football. We had a version of football we call Kill the Man. We just throw the ball up, and then whoever picks the ball up is you against everybody else, basically. You just like try to kick the ball as close as you could to the end zone, and then at the last second pick it up and hopefully you don't get tackled. We used to do all kind of stuff, man. It was basically roughhousing, man. Climbing trees, jumping. I was always jumping out of stuff, jumping off of stuff. If I could climb on top of it, I'll jump off a roof. I'll jump out of a tree. I didn't care. We used to go and explore abandoned buildings, which was crazy. It's kind of like we wanted to get kidnapped, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. The stuff that we were doing, what the stuff that we were doing, bro. But this is what we learned as young kids. And in those friendships, those bonds were made, bro. That's when you get them terms from the sandbox. You know what I mean? Man, we've been close since the sandbox, which means we've been there since first, second, third grade or whatever. And then you just kind of grow and get to elementary school and middle school and high school, and you're playing sports. These young dudes today, they don't have that experience, so it's hard for them to bond. And they have a lot of female tendencies, man. They got a lot of female nature that comes out of them. When they say something, they get all big, and you say that around certain dudes, you'll look around and find yourself in the middle of a circle of guys standing in front of the dude you just said the fly stuff to. All the other men are like, handle your business. Like, now it's time to do this. And that's what is missing, I believe, from a lot of these young dudes. Like, we put our hands up or whatever. It wasn't like gladiators, man. We wasn't fighting until someone was deleted. No, we fought until, you know what I'm saying? Say, uncle, dude, give, tap out or whatever. You see what time it is. But it was, like I said, you getting punched in your mouth, bro. You getting kicked in your head. But you're not, what I mean? It's not where you getting hurt, but you're going to have to defend your words. You're going to have to defend your honor. A lot of guys have not gone through that, and they have to learn that now as young men. So I would agree with that. I would agree that there's definitely a lot of dudes out there who are suffering because they don't have those bonds with their male counterparts. Me and Jay Swans are like this, brothers, for well over 30 years, man. Can't break that bond between he and I. And that helps me. That helps me during the good times. It helps me during the bad times. I know no matter what, he got my back. He knows no matter what, I got his back. All he got to do is, he knows if he asks me to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't care what it is. Me and him are tight like that. This platform right here, we could build this platform up to where we're getting fresh and fit numbers, right? And Jay Swans could call me a week after that. We get it up, man. We're running millions and millions of views, man. We're doing good. Super chats, money, advertising dollars. People want to come in here and advertise on this platform. Jay Swans could call me in the middle of all that. This platform could be making $50,000 a month. Jay Swans could call me like, man, I need you to shut that down. And I'll shut it down. I wouldn't even ask him why. I'll just shut it down. I wouldn't even do one last podcast. I'll just shut it down. That's a bond. That's a real bond, no matter what. And the reason I wouldn't have to ask him, because I know he would never do anything to hurt me. If he's telling me to shut this down, I need to shut it down. I'm not even going to question it. It's a real bond. So there are guys out there who don't have that. And I can see there are guys out there who, they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to go up. They don't want to be, go face denial. Go up and ask a girl what's up, try to get a number. They don't want to, hear no. They can't handle it. That's what's going on. Women ain't got to hunt. Men got to hunt. So, like, I understand women have their numbers up there. If they're smashing other women, or if they're smashing other dudes, or they're all smashing the top tier guys, they still smashing because they are hunted. Let me take that back. They hunt a different way. They know men are coming. They hunt a different way. All they got to do is make themselves available, and then they get to decide if they're going to be with that guy or not. And more often than not, it's going to happen, especially if she's attractive. Hell, she ain't even got to be attractive these days. So it is what it is. Brother Tobias Travers in the house, man. What's good, fam? What's good? Kung Fu Theater was lit. Yes, sir, it was. Brother Dorkhead's in the house. What's good, fam? Brooke, I see you, bro. I want DL to do the dubbed English Kung Fu voice. Right. All right. We'll try to do that voice for you. My Shaolin style. It's great. Right. It's the best I could do, bro. That's the best I could do. I'm gonna have to find that soundbite. I like to try the Wu-Tang style. Let's begin then. That one there. I want to try. I gotta find that soundbite, bro. I want to find it just for you. Right, brother. Right. Wait. I want to try your snake style. That's the best I could do. Sorry. You know what I mean? That was just like, Give me some time to work on it, right? Give me some time to work on it, bro. And I'll come on with the perfect kung fu. I even had to remember that old school music they used to have that. You walking all funny, like right, hot. I used to love that, man. I used to love that, man. See what I see, Dorkhead, bro? See how you got me looking, player? See how you got me looking? But it's cool though, man. But yeah, dudes don't have that, bro. Dudes don't have that, and they need it. They need that. And that only builds up their confidence. It allows them to go out there and be able to find the woman that they want. They have to go out there and learn how to holler. You know what I'm saying? You need that, man. That I mean, it's funny, but that dude, this guy right here.
Holla, 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 holla. Let me holler at you. Let me holler.
That guy right there, broke as a joke. Y'all go back and watch that on Dave Chappelle. Dude, broke as a joke. But guess what? He had mad women in his life. Why? Because he knew how to holler. He didn't care. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you. He gonna go through 100 women to get one. Go through 1,000 women to get one. You know, that's it. There's no other way. There's no other cheat code, right? Unless you want to go out there and make a ton of money. But if you make a ton of money looking for cheat codes, looking for the easy way, they're gonna run your pockets. You're gonna get finessed. You're gonna get finessed, and it doesn't guarantee you going to smash at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I hear that and I accept that, even though that author from that article is definitely on the womanist side of things. She has some points. She has some good points. Men do need to get out there and learn how to, find friends and build up their clan and go out there and build up their confidence and build themselves up physically. You know what I mean? Get emotionally strong. Get out there and learn how to deal with women. Go out there and get your face cracked. Go out there and get punched in the mouth. Join a dojo. You got to do all these things. Become the best version of yourself. I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. You got to become the best version of yourself. So then there's an article from the Pew Research Center that I found as well. I wanted to go over this Pew article, and then we're going to get into the New York Post article that actually got me even looking at all this stuff. It's just the dating scene out here in America has gotten difficult for both sexes. I mean, it's just these numbers are crazy numbers, yo. It's tough. It's real tough. So let's look at this. Pew Research Center, nearly half of U.S. adults say dating has gotten harder for most people in the last 10 years. Yeah. I'm saying, yes, it has. It 100% has. It has gotten harder. Like, you must know what you are doing. A majority of women say they have experienced harassing behavior from someone they went on a date with. All right. We see where this article is going. You know what I mean? Let's see. As more Americans turn to online dating and the hashtag #MeToo movement leaves its imprint on the dating scene, nearly half of U.S. adults and a majority of women say that dating has become harder in the last 10 years. I wonder where this article was going with this. And here's the thing too, online dating sucks, guys. It does, but that's just one of the many ways you need to source. It's just, if you're out here single, you're trying to find women. It is a numbers game. You need to use every means at your disposal to add women to your funnel. Online dating is one of them, but I'm here to tell you online dating sucks. I mean, it sucks for me. I haven't been dating online since 2020. I'm gonna say since like June or July 2020, I stopped. I got out here when I moved here from LA. I let me try this. I did it. It just sucks, bro. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on, because guess what? You're gonna see the same women, the same profiles on every single platform. That's what I saw. And I was trying to keep it 100. Like, well, let me just date within an age range that kind of makes sense for me. I want to find someone, maybe closer to my lifestyle. Probably, hopefully I can find a single mom. Hopefully she's doing okay, like financially, career wise. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. There was not a lot of options. And the options that I thought were kind of there, hey, bro, it's the same it was the same profiles on every platform. I don't care what platform you were on, it's the same profiles. And then that's after you sift through all of the women who were trying to funnel you to their OnlyFans. That's after you sift through all of the phishing attempts from people who were wherever, Nigeria or India, trying to get you to send, trying to romance you, fleece you for money. and even get through the foreign women. You know, a lot of foreign women have figured out that they can get into these American dating website, dating sites, and funnel them to WhatsApp, or and then from there funnel get those guys sending them money um, via Western Union and stuff like that. Because remember, if you're in some country like the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, over into Africa, you know what I mean, over into India, even Eastern Europe, you can send, if she can get you for 20, $50 a month, that's a lot of money in some of those places. That's a lot of money in India. That's a lot of money in Colombia, and then she'll send you these, those pictures, or have those sexy, video calls with you. That's just the hustle. And then, hey, if you show up, hey man, she's definitely gonna be your girlfriend for the amount of time that you're there. She's gonna give you that girlfriend experience, but she's gonna want even more money, because it's just sad stories, bro. It's just constant. My hamster is sick and needs a leg replacement. My mom, got this disease and we need money for her. And it's always gonna be something like, oh, my child. I mean, I'm just telling you, this is how they need to survive. They have to do this to survive. I ain't mad at them, man. Don't never, like I said, we say over here, bro, never hate the player, hate the game. So all that is online dating, bro. All of it. All that is online dating. It sucks. Just keeping it 100. It sucks. So I'm wondering where they're going with this Me Too thing, though. Among those who are, make this so you guys can see it, among those who are in the dating market, the 15% of American adults who are single and looking for a committed relationship or casual dates, most say they are dissatisfied with their dating lives and that it has been difficult to find people to date, according to a Pew Research Center survey conducted in October of 2019. So, these numbers, it takes a while to gather this information, guys. So it's like there's a lagging, they're like lagging indicators. Like, I know it's 2023. This information came out 2019. Trust me, the numbers hadn't gotten any better. Right? It just hasn't. And we know this to be true. While single and looking men and women report equal levels of dissatisfaction with their dating lives and the ease of finding people to date, women are more likely to say they have had some particular negative experiences. Most women who are currently single and looking to date, 65%, say they have experienced at least one of 6 harassing behaviors asked about in a survey from someone they were dating or had been on a date with, such as being touched in a way that made them uncomfortable, or rumors being spread about their sexual history. This compares with 50% of men who are single and looking. The pattern holds when looking at all women and men, whether they are currently on the dating market or not. Okay, so this right here, this is fascinating. This is really fascinating. So 65% of women who've been out there dating, having these dating experiences, have said they've had one of the 6 harassing behaviors asked about in the survey. I hope they list these behaviors. And such as being touched in a way that made them feel uncomfortable. Okay, so does that mean if a man puts his hand on the small of your back, that makes you uncomfortable, right? And it could. Okay. Or the rumors being spread about their sexual history, which to me, when I hear that, it's like, all right, you messing with somebody at work, on your social circle, you smashed him, and he told his buddy, and then his buddy went and told so and so and so and so, and to get back to you that y'all indeed smashed or whatever. Okay. I mean, what do you do about that? And as far as women, and the guy, and there was 65% of women that said they had that issue, and 50% of men. So half of the men are saying, yeah, we're having the same thing. I can't believe those guys actually told the truth, because I ain't gonna lie to you. We did an episode on dealing with sexual harassment in the workplace on this platform. No one cares. Like, dude, if you're out with a woman and she's, reached down your pants and grabs your joystick, I mean, seriously, who are you gonna go to? I guess you can go to the police department. They're gonna go ahead and take that case seriously, I guess. But you're gonna report that, man. They're gonna be laughing at you. I've been places where women walk up on me, you know me, grab me or whatever. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? We're men. Like we're gonna turn around and knock her out. I mean, you just gotta leave. You know, the whole part about spreading your sexual history, that's never a problem for men. You know, if word gets back that this dude done smashed a bunch of women or whatever, 3 or 4 women in a circle, they're gonna be like, hey, high five, you the man. So that's just that double standard that kind of works towards men. If the same thing applies to a woman, like you know, smash 4 or 5 dudes in a circle, they're gonna be like, oh, she's a 3 or 4. It is what it is. Huh. Let's continue. This is kind of fascinating. I'm glad because I didn't read this in advance, guys. I just saw it and I thought it would be a good article to read leading up to the New York Times, the New York Post article. Um, Women are also more likely to see risk, both physical and emotional, when it comes to dating. When those who say dating has become harder, most people in the last 10 years are asked to describe in their own words why they think this is the case. Women are twice as likely as men to cite increased risk. For their part, men are more likely than women to say technology is the reason dating has gotten harder. Facts. I fall in that category. Over 47% of Americans say dating is now harder than it was 10 years ago, while 19% say it's easier and 33% say it's about the same. Yeah, I fall into that camp, man. It's definitely harder. Like the world has definitely changed. The dating world has changed forever. Ain't no going back. It ain't no going back. And online dating is garbage. It is what it is. And online dating has, you know, shifted into social media dating, which means, you know, shifted what I'm talking about. Instagram. Instagram is the world's biggest dating site. Hands down. Shout out to Fresh Prince CEO and Fresh and Fit over there because they've done a couple shows on it and it's the absolute truth. It's the absolute truth. If you're out there and you're looking to date, Mel King had a post on her YouTube. Mel King was saying, hey, you know, I'm about to get on, you know, dating sites. What sites should I get on? I thought she was trolling. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, are you serious? I sent her a message like, are you serious? Man, dating sites suck. You know what I mean? But I think she was. And then she's doing a show tonight with the Medium Man, and she's gonna be, you know, it's one of those shoot your shot, you know, episodes. So fellas out there, if y'all think y'all got a shot at Mel King, well, tonight's the night, bro. You can go over there and try to work your hand, right? Good luck. Yeah, good luck, bro. But Instagram is the way to get at women today. In today's world, Instagram. Like again, if you're out there and you're seriously dating, like I'm trying to find somebody, you're gonna have to use Instagram and add that to your funnel as well as all of the traditional dating sites. Put that in your funnel. You have to use the sugar sites. Again, shout out to Myron and Fresh. Fresh and Fit talks about this all the time. You have to use the sugar sites, throw that into the funnel, right? Social game, dog game, code approach. So, you know, all that stuff goes into the funnel. Any, you know, political game. I use that a lot. Like when you're going out, this is a political season, bro. This is a good time to go out and meet some like-minded individuals, bro. Like you go out and do some, you know, go volunteer on some political stuff. You can do, you know, left, right. You can do independent. You can go out there and just volunteer. Like, hey, I'm nonpartisan. I just want to go out here and help in the process, bro. It's so much you could do. Registering people to vote. Just going to different events with different parties. I'm telling you, bro. That's one of the most successful ways I have had meeting women. Real talk. Um, so yeah, you get that. Most people like to meet people at work, but now everyone's working from home, so they can't do that anymore. You don't you think you're gonna holler at somebody over Zoom? You got another thing coming. But it's definitely harder, guys. It's not the same. The dating game is not the same. If you know how to approach women, you're all right. If you can get out there and approach women, you're okay. If you know how to, you know, see what's going on, see what's up, holler, you know, go up, see somebody you like, you know how to spark a conversation and cultivate that conversation, right? That could lead to something. But you know, Instagram and dating sites and stuff like that, man, that's real difficult. It's all about selling. It's the cover that you wrap around yourself being the book. You have to have that really good, glittery, jump out cover. You have to, you know, I mean, especially on Instagram. Again, Fresh and Fit. DMs on demand. They had every couple times a year, I think, couple 3 times a year, they'll open up this course that they do. It's called DMs on demand, and they show you how to make your Instagram the most desirable tool for women. And they run it down. They talk about the numbers, like, you know, how many people you follow versus how many people are following you, how many pictures you should have up, the type of pictures, how you should run your you know, your shorts and all that kind of stuff, how to reach out. This all a skill set, gentlemen. It's all a skill set. Ladies don't need this skill set, right? They're just pretty. Let's just keep it 100. They're female. Like I said, they ain't even got to be pretty. Ladies don't need this skill set, but guys, guys need every trick in the book. And this is probably why so many dudes are like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't, this is just too much. Maybe I'll just take my little money, get on the plane to go down to Colombia, go down to the DR, go to Aruba, go to Jamaica. These guys are going wherever they're going. Go to Thailand, go to the Philippines, where they get off the plane and they're in the top 20% just based on the fact that they're Americans and they have money. They're in the top 20%. Now women are coming after them. So that's the reason, why people are leaving. And I believe women are beginning to follow suit here in America. So, let's get back into this article. Singles who are looking for a relationship are generally open to dating people with many different traits and from a variety of backgrounds. For example, large majorities say they would consider a relationship with someone of a different religion or a different race or ethnicity than them. Most also say they would seriously date someone who makes significantly more or significantly less money than them. When it comes to being in a relationship with someone who lives far away, has a significant amount of money, has a significant amount of debt, or who voted for Donald Trump. However, many of those who are looking for a relationship would hesitate. So, all right, I get it. Some of this is cap. Men, if you got a man out there who's doing well for himself, he's, financially secure. You got to do it out there who's financially secure. He's out there looking for a woman. He doesn't really care how much she makes. He will date someone who makes significantly less. Absolutely. If she's pretty, like she's fit, she's feminine, she's friendly, she has a good head on her shoulders, she's quote unquote loyal. Yeah, dude, take that. If he's making 60, 70, $80,000 a year or more, he's not worried about that. He'll holler at her. Women, on the other hand, they don't like doing that. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night who we'll have on the show. She's a self-made woman, entrepreneur. She's in the public speaking space. Like, she's a coach. She coaches people up on, how to speak publicly. But her client base includes, Forbes, 100 type people, like the CEOs, CFOs, COOs, those type of people. Like, she really works with top tier individuals and helps them with their public speaking and stuff like that. Right. So she's done really well for herself. I'm trying hard to get on the show, guys. If I'm, she's in and out of the country a lot. Like, a lot of her business is, in Europe and other places. So yeah, when she gets back, I think today or tomorrow she's leaving. And then when she gets back, we're going to get on the platform. Very beautiful woman, very fit, very nice, very friendly, very successful. Her and I were talking about this last night, and I was telling her about the New Templars, the group that we've started here in Tampa. And right away, she's like, are they looking for women? And I was like, well, these are young men who are just getting it together. They're part of this organization and we're building them up. And she's like, oh, so they're not already there yet, man. No, they're not there. So right away, she was saying, yeah, she's looking for a dude. She's hanging around all these powerful, successful women. They're all looking for dudes. And I'm like, well, these are good guys. They're getting it together. They have potential. Nah, nah, these women ain't going to be interested in that. So most women aren't interested in guys who are not financially attractive to them. They have to, again, that's the hypergamy thing. They got to be on their level or higher. So I say it's a little cap there. Like, the way they wrote it in this article makes it look like women are cool with that, which they are not. And guys, like, you got these average dudes. These average dudes are out here. They'll take a big girl. They're just happy. Like, they just want somebody. I was telling this to I Am the Single One. I was talking to I Am the Single One just a couple of days ago. Was on her platform talking with her, Mandrill, and Lost in Translation, the real cool brother out of I think he says he's out of Alabama. And we brought this up. It's like the average guy just wants one woman. He doesn't want to run a rotation. He just wants a woman that loves him and he loves her, and they can work and build together. That's what the average dude wants. And I think Lost in Trans, I Am a Single One. It was I Am a Single One. I think she pushed back a little bit on that. So like, it is what it is, brother Mandrell. If you're bringing in 5,000 American dollars per month, you're in the top 1% in the Philippines. Yep. That's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And Filipino women are beautiful and they're cool. They're not out there. I mean, there's some out there who are just trying to run your pockets, but the majority of them, they're just trying to find someone to make a life with. So I'm not mad at those guys who do it. Yeah, I'm not mad at those who do it. So, I mean, this kind of gets into most Americans say it's harder for men to know how to behave on dates in the era of the Me Too movement. Ooh, we'll read this part and then we'll move on to the next story. But yeah, I want to read this. And I bet it is difficult to know how to move. Like, and here's the thing. Dudes are taking a pretty big risk when they go out here, meeting women, trying to date them. Bro, it's tough. A lot of these young guys, they're asking like, well, where should I go to meet women? I'm like, bro, I'm into Latin women. I've had more success with Latin women. And it's not because they're Latin, although a lot of it has to do with that. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the way you're raised and being feminine and what they look for in men. But a lot of it too is the culture itself, like, salsa, merengue, bachata, like the dance. Well, you're already embracing each other, right? Right off rip, you get to embrace one another. So having that little bit of contact will alleviate a lot of the awkwardness for dudes who probably find themselves in this Me Too predicament, right? That's one of the things I do. If I'm out with a sister or if I'm out with whoever, like just regular old Americans from all of the other bubbles, all of the other communities, I want to go somewhere where we can dance, and I want to see if she'll allow me to touch her and dance and get close to her. That's how you break down those shields. But a lot of guys don't realize that. And they'll find themselves in situations where it's not necessarily appropriate to touch her. And they're trying to touch her. Like they're trying to, being that dude, oh, get me, dude, come here. Like, bro, that's a no-go. You need to understand how to breach that. And so now I talk to these guys about this sort of thing, man. It's like, well, how do I do it, bro? I mean, we're just walking from place to place. I'm like, man, walk somewhere where you can at least hear some music. And then when you hear the music, just kind of grab her hand and twirl her around to whatever the music is. Or if it's some hip hop, kind of bounce like, hey, just kind of touch her like with her hands, and just kind of do one of these, hey, holding her hands. Don't go in and like push her down and you know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. You got to find a way to breach that, right? You got to find a way to break down that barrier. And the easiest way to break down that barrier, it begins with a touch of the hands, bro. Like you got to hold her hand or something like that. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. Brother Tobias, the traveler, is not difficult for a man that is physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially fit. I don't have those Me Too issues ever. Facts. But I bet you, brother Tobias, he knows how to read the room. He knows how to read her body language. He's not going to make a move on a woman that's not interested in him. He knows he can read her body language, right? We've been out here. We know what it is. A lot of these guys, they haven't been out there. They just don't know what they're doing. So this article continues. Let's just read this part of the article, and then we'll switch over to the New York Post. A majority of the overall public, 65%, says the increased focus on sexual harassment and assault in the last few years has made it harder for men to know how to interact with someone they're on a date with. About a quarter, 24%, say it hasn't made much difference, and 9% say it has become easier for men to know how to behave. Fewer people think this focus on harassment and assault has made it harder for women to know how to interact with someone they're on a date with. 43%, while 38% say it hasn't made much difference for women. Men, especially older men and Republicans, are more likely than women and Democrats to say it's harder for men to know how to act when dating in the era of the hashtag Me Too movement. Though majorities across the board express this view. For example, 75% of men age 50 and older say it is now harder for men to know how to behave on dates compared to 63% of men younger than 50, 58% of women younger than 50, and 63% of women 50 and older. So a lot of this seems to me that it kind of drops, it kind of falls along generational lines. Um, let's just keep it 100, man. Our generation was more touchy feely, which is more touchy feely, bro. This is how it was. It was more touchy feely, and I was accepted by both parties. Now, not so much. Not so much. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing, brother Tobias. Others don't understand a woman's social cues. Exactly. They don't. They don't. There's a lot of guys that don't. They don't. Why would they? They're not around women. Remember, they don't go outside. They don't socialize with dudes. They're certainly out there. So they're not socializing with women, at least in a romantic sense. They don't know. They haven't been taught. You have guys who are coming out of single family households with mom. Is mom teaching them how to approach women and date women? No, my mother never talked to me about it. You know, my father did. You know, and then in my homeboys, and I saw it in the streets. So no, the guys are missing a major component by staying in the house and all that kind of stuff. Brother Jason's in the house. What's good, fam? Oh, wrong button. What's good, fam? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Hope I was well up there in Detroit. So there are guys out here. I know the J Swans will give me a hard time about this, bro. When I talking about the manosphere and all this red pill stuff, it doesn't make sense to him because it's like, how is it they don't know these things? I'm like, bro, they don't know these things. This is the problem. They don't know these things. They need to learn. They've never been taught. My dad taught me about dealing with women. My homeboys, my dudes on the street, we went through it together because their dads or uncles or cousins, whoever, or the ones who didn't even have access to their dads would still get access to my dad through me because I'm telling them what my dad told me. And we go out and we try it and we are learning and we're doing whatever. Well, you got a couple generations out there now, at least a couple, that never went through that. They have no idea. So now they're out there in the real world and they don't know what to do. Add to that they're getting way too much corn in their life, bro. They're watching way too much adult content. So she might give him a little social cue, and he just, instead of just saying, okay, it's cool to go to first base, you know, it's cool to go ahead and just give me a you know, like brush up your arm against her shoulder or something like that. Or, you know, there's so many subtle ways. And we talk about this. Like when guys will come at me, we talk about these little subtle cues. They get this little bitty subtle cue, and the next thing you know, he's trying to like jump her bones or something like that. Like, bro, you know, it doesn't work that way. You need more cues to get that far, man. Trust me. She'll let you know when it's cool. These guys just don't know. And then they go out here, they do something wrong, and then boom, she reports them. And that's a bad experience. You know, you got to deal with law enforcement or something like that, or you got to deal with HR, or you got to deal with like her brothers and cousins and whatnot. That's a bad experience. Like, I don't want to do that again. So they sit down. But luckily, a lot of these dudes are looking for help. They're looking for help. So, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna drop this Pew study in the chat as well. You guys want to have a look at this, and I'm gonna go back and read this whole thing myself because, yeah, it makes sense to me. These people that don't understand, these guys that just don't get it. Because think about it, it's nothing new. It's just these guys are in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s, and they're awkward and they're trying to figure this out. Well, we went through this same thing when we were like 10, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12. By the time we were 16, 17, we knew what time it was. So, yeah, by the time we hit our 20s and our 30s, come on, bro, we moving like we're supposed to move. But we had that experience early on. These guys didn't get that experience. So now we're going to talk, we're going to take the conversation a little bit more towards the women. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about women. Women want the best they could get, absolutely. These women are out here who are the ones who are chasing after guys. They come across a guy who's, you know, has style about him. Like let's say he's tall. Let's say the guy's about 6 feet. He's got a nice style about him. He's dressed like a gentleman, well groomed, smells good. You can tell he has money, he's driving a nice vehicle, has, you get into the conversation, you find out the guy's well traveled, right? You might meet him in a real nice establishment. I always use Miami as an example. If I'm in Miami, I'm in Brickell. And if I'm in Brickell, I'm just killing time. I'm probably in Moxie's. Right. So I'm sitting at Moxie's at the bar chilling. And it's a lot of beautiful women there. And they're just there hanging out. They're in groups, they're in clusters. Sometimes they're by themselves. Sometimes you could tell they're on first dates meeting up with guys. I'm just kind of sitting there. So if I get into a conversation with a woman, she'll know within 5 minutes, like, all right, this seems like a pretty cool dude. Right? She's gonna look at the accessories. She's gonna look at the watch. She's gonna, you know what I mean? She's gonna look at she's gonna check out your outfit. Right? If I'm sitting there, if I happen to be sitting at the bar and my feet might be kind of curled under me or something like that, because those high tops or whatever, she might notice the bottom of my feet are red. Oh shoot, this dude got on red bottoms. Or this dude is wearing Ferragamo. You know what I mean? She's gonna look at cufflinks and all that. She's gonna look at the accessories. All right, this dude, he has all of the trappings of someone who's successful. Are you gonna get to the conversation? Oh yeah. Hey, I had a woman tell me that she was that she spoke Korean once. I'm at the bar, we chopping it up, and she said something, and she was like, "Oh, I speak Korean," and right away I start speaking Korean to her. Right? I don't speak a lot of Korean, but I speak enough. I start speaking Korean, and she starts laughing, and she was like, "I would meet the one black man who speaks Korean." It was hilarious. But it put me on. That was it. I went from level 1 to level 15. Just because when she said she spoke Korean, I was like, oh, yeah, say, oh, just because of that right there, boom, 15. Right there. And that was it. She was like, I've never even been to Korea. I'm like, yeah, I lived there for 6 months. And then boom, that was just, we got in. That was a great conversation. So right away, it's like, this dude travels. This dude takes the time to learn the language of the places that he goes. Hey, that conversation led to more conversations, and that was cool. Beautiful woman, right? Beautiful woman. She didn't initiate the conversation, but she came and sat right next to me. I saw her when I walked in the place. I'm like, all right. Whenever I walk into a room, I assess the entire room for a bunch of reasons. But I noticed, I saw her. I'm like, man, she's fine. Like, little shorty over there is fine. But whatever. I'm eating, I'm doing my thing, doing my orders, and boom. Within 20 minutes, there she is, right next to me. Right next to me. Bumping into me, kind of, because it's close quarters, bumping into me, whatever, just waiting for me to say something. I finally said something. I like to wait sometimes. I want to see just how far they go. I'm just having fun with it. Whereas the average dude would just fall over themselves trying to holler at this chick. I'm taking my time, like whatever. I see what's going on. Right? I tell dudes that too, man. Don't be running down the hill, bro. Walk down the hill. Walk down the hill. So, women are in this situation where they're going after these top tier guys, and the women who get on, fine. But the women who don't get on, they don't know what to do. Right? They're going out here, they're buying dogs. They're going out here, girls trips and this and that and whatever. I don't need no man, whatever. But they really do want a guy. So they don't know what to do. They're not worried about being married. Because like I said, let's face it, most marriages are ended by women, right? But they can't tell you to marry them, right? They can't make you marry them. You have to ask to marry them. So, and then they don't want to lower their standards. So what are they doing? They're doing what the guys are doing. They're doing exactly what the passport bros are doing. They're beginning to travel. They're leaving America looking for love. And this is, to me, is just the craziest thing in the world. Like, why are women leaving America looking for love? Men are leaving America, women are leaving America. What is going on in America that we can't get together, that we got to go somewhere else? I understand the male side of this, but I don't quite understand the female side of this. You know what I mean, brother Tobias? Like, brother, we move very similarly. Yeah, bro. Like I said, man, hey, we're in the same range, man. The game is game, man. Yeah, we yes, we do. Like I say, game, peep game. I already know. If you see me in action, you'll be like, oh, man. And I can work with anybody. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. So there's a new game coming. There's a new, not a game, but a TV show is one of those TV shows where, relationship TV shows. I don't even know what to call them. Can't call it a game, but it is kind of a silly game to me. So the New York Post has this story out. This is really an advertisement for this TV show that's coming out, is what this is. But it kind of caught my eye when I read this, guys. So I want to bring this up. Dating in New York City is the worst. I went to Colombia to find a hot man without a messy past. Word? Now, this is the thing right away. I understand why men go to Colombia or Thailand or the Philippines or wherever. I understand why men go to Spain, Brazil, Portugal. You know what I mean? I understand France. I understand. There's beautiful women in all these places. But when you're an older woman and, it doesn't work the same. So here's the woman right here. And she's 52 years old, living in New York. I'm pretty sure she's financially successful. But she's like, I got tired of the NYC, of the New York City dating scene. So I left the country to find a man, match me abroad. And that's a TLC show that's coming out. And you can't see the picture, but right next to her is her dog, just wrapped up in this cover, and she has her arm draped over. That's her dog. Now we're not going to listen to his video. I don't want to play the video, for copyright reasons or whatever. But let's read this. Susan, 52, was done with dating in New York. Right, she's 52 years old. Right, she's keeping 100. There's no disrespect to this young lady. No disrespect to this woman. You know what I mean? We're in the same age group. But baby, you missed your prime. You're 52. I mean, it just boils down to is like beggars can't be choosers. You're 52. She can't compete with her 22-year-old self. And that's what it boils down to. So she's tired of the dating scene in New York. All right. She's living in New York. I'm telling you, she's got bread. She's probably successful. She did it. She climbed that corporate ladder. She got there. But like Myron Gaines says, the higher women go up that corporate ladder, the more money, success, and clout they get, the more doors close, the more opportunities are closed off to them. But her male counterpart, the higher he goes up that ladder, the more money, the more clout he gets, the more doors open, the more opportunities open. It is what it is. Yeah, I just hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. But she continues, when you get out of your 30s and into your 40s, the dating pool shifts for single men. The fed up finance worker told the Post, right? So she's in finance. She's probably got a lot of money. She's fed up. She's the fed up finance worker. Now you're meeting men who are married and cheating or in the process of a divorce or separated. It gets complicated. There are kids involved. All right. So it sounds like she's single, she's successful, and she doesn't have any children. All right. Keep that in mind, guys. She's single, she's 52, she's finance, successful, no children. After going on one or too many dates with men who claimed to be single but turned out to be taken, the Manhattanite gave up on American men entirely. I mean, okay. Like you make it think it's just an American thing. Okay. Susan is one of the subjects of the new TLC reality dating series, Match Me Abroad. I might have to watch this series, guys. I might have to watch a little bit of this series. Match Me Abroad. All it's going to do is show how difficult it is to date in America. That's all it's going to show. Really? That's it. This is on TLC. Oh man, I'm definitely going to have to watch that. It premieres Sunday at 10 p.m. The show, which uses first names only, follows a group of single Americans as they travel to Colombia, Morocco, and the Czech Republic, where matchmakers help them find love outside their home country. All right. I'm gonna watch this show. Lonely Hearts looking for a leg up include Harold, 41, an investor from New Mexico. Did I say investor? I'm sorry, inventor from New Mexico. My bad, Harold. Who recently moved out of his parents' home and is looking for his future wife in Prague. All right, so you got a guy who's an inventor. He's been living in his mom's crib. He's 41 years old. He's just now moving out on his own. I wonder if he was in his parents' home because of a divorce or a separation or something like that. I would have. I hope that's the case. I hope he was living in mom and dad's house because he had been married and got divorced or whatever. Went through the whole family court thing. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not. He's just an inventor who's been living in the basement trying to come up with a new widget. And he's recently moved out of his parents' home. He's going to Prague, bro. I don't know if he's gonna have any. I don't know if he's gonna have any success over there. I'm just gonna keep it. Let's keep it 100, bro. I don't know if he's gonna have any success over there. He doesn't sound successful. He does not sound successful. So, yeah, yeah. I don't know about that. Just now moving out of your mom's, you know, that's something. So I'm dropping I dropped a link in there in case anybody wanted to pop in. But he's going to Prague. Mark 44, a sports broadcaster from Arizona who's looking for a woman in Morocco. Man, I'm telling you, man, there's some beautiful women over there in Morocco, bro. There's some beautiful women over there. And Chad 38 from Tennessee, who is hoping a matchmaker can help him put the bitter memory of the 3 failed engagements behind him. So some dude's been engaged 3 times, 3 rings, never got married. He is lucky. He is lucky. And that's old girl from the top, of the suit. That's Susan right there. Yeah. Poor Susan, 52 years old, going to Colombia to find love. And that's her right there. Ladies, you need to lock a guy down when you are in your prime. It just bottoms. That's what it is. You need to lock a man down when you are in your prime. Brother Tobias is saying Prague will be easy if he isn't awkward. This is the dude that was living with his parents, bro. Like if I think he's gonna be awkward, man. An inventor, I think he's gonna be awkward, man. We gotta watch the show though. But Brother Tobias, go check out Brother Tobias's show. This dude, Tobias the Traveler, he travels everywhere, bro. He's been to every nook and cranny on this planet. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Y'all need to go over there and holler at this brother. If you and traveling, and we're going to be back tomorrow with the Last Good Man in Jersey. We're going to be talking about the importance of traveling as an American, period. As a especially as an African American, a black guy, black woman, we need to get out there and see what the rest of the world is like, period. So we're going to have Last Good Man in Jersey on tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what we're going to be talking about. Brother Tobias, if you're around, bro, if you're free tomorrow around this time, come through, man. I'd love to shoot you the link, and we can have that conversation. So yeah, and there's the picture of her dog. Like, this is what women are doing. Like, she doesn't need a man, right? This particular woman right here. I don't need a man. You're in New York. You're 52 years old. You have all the money that you could possibly want. You probably have your property. You have your investments. You're doing good, right? You have everything but your youth and beauty. So the guy, she's still gonna want a top tier guy. Top tier guys like, all right, I might smash you. She's wearing like the clothes she's wearing, like you can't really see her body. She's got the dog with her. She doesn't have any kids. Guys are interested in sex initially. I mean, it's this would be one of the ladies who are like, well, I have all this, I bring all this to the table. Well, a guy's looking at that like, that's fine, but I don't get any of that. I don't get any of your money. I don't get any of your stock options, right? We're not living in your place. You're going to be coming into my place, or we're going to keep separate places. And you want me to be monogamous? Like, why? Why would he do that? Why would a guy who is at his peak in the sexual marketplace, why would he give up all those options to be with a woman who's 52 years old and she's past it? Why? I mean, I know people are like, man, that's pretty hard. That's pretty harsh, Saint. I'm just saying, bro, it is what it is. Why? When she was 22, that same guy would be all over. But that would change her whole life. So women don't like that part, and I'm just like, ladies. And for this woman right here going to Colombia, That's not going to help her. Susan has been married once before from ages 23 to 26. So that's crazy. She was married. I see you, brother. I'm gonna pull you up in a second. She was married. Why did she get divorced? And I'm willing to bet that she initiated said divorce. Right. So she was married before, got divorced. After that, the 2008 crisis tanked her dating life. She said, I was in a bad place. I had lost my job. I was working for Lehman. It took a toll on me emotionally. It was a tough couple of years to date. No one was happy, and I clung to the worst type of life raft, a relationship that was toxic and awful. And it took a long time to crawl out of that. All right, that's cool, but everyone deals with that. Following a negative experience, she realized she was no longer meeting people organically and began to feel like dating apps were the only game left in town. She wasn't meeting people organically. What does that mean? That means dudes wasn't trying to holler at her. Dudes weren't, I mean, that's it. She became invisible. No matter what she did, no matter how sexy she wanted to make herself out to be, whatever, dudes weren't trying to holler at her. So she went to dating apps. And this is just, I mean, this is the story you hear over and over again. It's not just Sister Susan right here, it's everybody. But with apps came too many married men, she said. I've gone out with a man that was in the midst of a contentious divorce. I've been set up with men that were still married. I went on a date with one guy and then later found out that he had a full-on family and lived in a different state entirely. Yeah, they just trying to smash. That's not to say that things can't get complicated in the other countries when dating at her age, Susan said, but based on past experience, it somehow seemed easier. It's not easier, it's just different. It's just different. I find that the single people that I meet abroad don't have so many attachments, or if they do, they're very upfront about it. So I can make a better decision instead of like 8 dates down the road. You're like, wait, what? You've got twins. On Match Me Abroad, she wanted to try dating in Colombia because she had traveled in South America when she was younger. And the men I met were hot, she said. So look, she still wants top tier dudes. She wants dudes that are hot, successful, got their stuff together, even though she's older. Brother Tobias, I'm gonna bring you up, but I'm gonna finish reading this last paragraph or so. So that experience shaped me. I want to get back to that girl that I loved when I was thriving and believed in love. So I decided I am traveling to Colombia to find it. She wasn't able to say what she found there. At least spoiled the show, but she did run into some challenges in the form of language barriers. I was proud of myself trying, even though I was pulling it out of the sky, trying to communicate. Susan said, I went into it with an open mind and an open heart. So I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't seen the show. Of course, no one's seen the show, but what happened to Susan is she got her back blown out. Point blank period. She got her back blown out. Tobias the Travelers in the house, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling?
Oh, life is good. Life is good, brother. Glad to be up, man. Yeah, I was just caught the show from beginning to right now, and very good show. Again, thank you for bringing me up. All valid points. And yeah, this lady here, as you just mentioned, she went to Colombia, and she met Jose Long Twerkums.
That's it. Enrique.
Yeah, exactly. That is the truth, right? And I mean, cool, she did that, whatever. And that has nothing to do with, any of us. But as you mentioned, she started making more money and she's not happy. She's invisible to the men she wants. Okay, if you're invisible, you are invisible. A woman's finances don't make her prettier, right? Yeah, honestly. And then a woman could be an attractive older woman, but then you still have that age component. And when the men she's looking for, they're not checking for women who have that age component. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
That's just what we know this. Just like the young ladies, they're not looking for typically the young man, right? Who don't have that financial component a lot of times. So it's the same thing, just pretty much in reverse. So if she want to go abroad and try to find something that isn't there, okay, hey, go ahead, do your thing. I'm not hating on you, but is she really going to receive the outcomes that she's looking for? If it's just, again, right, we know if it's just fun, she's just out there doing her thing, throwing it around, cool, do your thing. But if she's looking, but she's trying to, date, she's blaming, guys who were married. And come on now, you already know Latin America, men are notoriously run around slanging it like that. So,
and the women know what it is. They don't trip.
No,
because they got the ring.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. One got the ring and is winning. The other one just gonna support their lifestyle. That's what. But yeah, I'll definitely check out that show. I don't usually watch TV shows, but it's gonna be hilarious, especially with I think he's like the dude coming out of his parents' basement and going to Prague. I have a very strong feeling he gonna be super awkward, and it's just not gonna work.
No, it's not. It's not gonna work at all. I'm like you, bro. Like I don't watch TV shows like that. Like I don't have the time, but I'm watching that one. I'm watching that one because that's gonna be the talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. That's for sure.
For real, bro. I'm definitely gonna. I'm looking because I didn't put this. I didn't put it in the link. I want to drop this in the link so in the description or whatever or the chat so people can kind of go check this out for themselves. This woman is looking for something she's not gonna find. She's looking for Prince Charming. She is hoping that she's gonna find a guy that's gonna sweep her off her feet and they're gonna live happily ever after. It's not gonna happen because the guy she wants is the same man she would want if she were 22.
Correct. And trying to find
that is how it works, people.
Hey, but then think about it like this. She's trying to find that man in Colombia, and most Colombians ain't got money like that. Come on now. The Colombian whose paper is right got like 4 chicks already, and they all know about each other. Why would he choose her? And they're young, fit, and pretty. Yeah,
and here's another thing too, and tell me what you think it is. As a guy who's traveled a little bit, a 52-year-old Colombian woman versus a 52-year-old American woman, I'm telling you that Colombian woman is kicking her ass.
True.
Just the culture is such that Colombian woman, her body is right. She might have some upgrades, but she doesn't go crazy with it. Her beauty is still there. Natural beauty is still there. She's just older. And her attitude is going to be one of a very grateful human because she's in a community, she's in a world where it's like, man, once she got past 28, it was a wrap. She didn't get anybody. It's
Correct.
A wrap. No kids, bro. So you got this American woman competing with that, and you got that guy who's like, yeah, I'm gonna smash them both. Why not? But I'm gonna stick with my little mamacita over here from Colombia, not America. She got to go back home. Bye, gringo.
pretty much, right? It's she'll get there, and like I say, if you did have, this is like the situation. 51 Colombian, 52-year-old, very well kept, no kids. Then you bring this other lady in from the States. Well kept, no kids, but she, say she has the finances. The woman, the Colombian lady, she's gonna play her part. She understands a man's needs, and she gonna play to that hard and fast. The other woman, the American woman, she's not going to do that. She might try to woo this man with paper, and it's gonna be nice, but then it's just transactional, right? Yep, that's what it's gonna come back to. It's transactional. She's not going to get, she's not going to, the goals are not going to be met. She's gonna go down there. Oh, I spent, a couple of months in Colombia. I met a couple of guys. Well, you did the same thing in the United States, but you paid for everything in Colombia, right? Even if it was inexpensive, you paid for everything. Them men didn't take you on no dates, did they? No, exactly. So
wow, that's a great point.
Yeah, so you lost on both fronts. You got a cool vacation. You got a couple of memories. All right, nice. but did you really obtain what you desired? Or is it even moving in that direction? That's a hard no.
It's a hard no. And it's not that she can't compete or she didn't have the opportunity to compete with her 52-year-old counterpart in Colombia or Thailand or the Philippines. The thing is, she's not equipped to do it because she was busy chasing success. She was busy climbing the corporate ladder while her counterpart was getting money too, but she never left her feminine. She still was cooking, even though she was, worked hard, but she came home and she still cooked. She still made sure to work out. She still made sure to stroke the egos of the men when she needed to. Right. So she can't compete on that level because this woman she's just more practiced at catering to a man than an American woman, especially from New York in the finance world.
True, because she's thinking she's in competition with all these men. So she's moving as a man does. Whereas, in the dating market, no, all that, you how are you gonna be a woman but move as a man? We're not attracted to that. We're not, especially a man, again, you got the mental capability, you got your mental faculties on point, your finances are great, you're fit, you're emotionally stable. We're not looking for somebody who mimics us. That's like, what? Why? That's not cool. She's not trying to go date some feminine woman.
Right.
So
or maybe she is.
We shall see. Right, that they might throw a twist on the show. There might be a twist in there, and she dates somebody that identifies as whatever.
Right. So we got brother Rod Eric in the house, man. What's good, fam? Good to see you, bro. That's my fan. That's my man right there, man. Fresh and Fit Dallas. Basically the founder. Rod's always been putting in work. That's my guy. What's good, Uncle? I had a tough convo. And now moving forward, salute to you. Salute to you, bro. Salute to you, bro. Those conversations are hard to have. Yeah, and that's, we're talking about some man shit. Like something popped off, and you know how sometimes, something goes down with your crew and you just have to address it. He's dealing with something along those lines. And like I was telling you, man, it's never easy, but that's what leading from the front looks like, bros. You're gonna have to do that. So brother Tobias.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on the YouTube? I'm sorry, the hashtag Me Too movement element to dating these days? Because I'm pretty sure we're on the same page, but I want to hear your take on it.
Gotcha. Okay, so I can understand. A lot of men may think or they feel that they don't know what's proper and what's not when it comes to dating. Because if I do this, that might put her off, or I do that, she's gonna get mad and say I harassed her. Okay, when a woman likes you women flirt via touch. If a chick ain't like, oh hey, you're so funny, and then she ain't touching you on the arm or something like that, she probably isn't into you.
Exactly.
A woman that right, and they usually break that touch barrier first. Sometimes you can break it, just like as you was mentioning earlier. Hey, reaching for her hand real quick. Maybe there's some music playing. Maybe there isn't any music playing, but you start at her shoulder and just slide your hand down toward her, like her elbow gently, and it's not creepy, but you leave it right there. That lets her know, oh, he touched me. He liked me. I'm gonna pour it on some. So,
or I'm gonna pull back. That's another thing too.
Exactly. But then, like I said, the social cues, if you don't recognize them. So if men don't know these things, you better seek out some men that do, and saying, hey, I don't want to play the game like that. Well, that's not going to get you what you really want either. So why would you, just forfeit? Nah, look, in the game of baseball, right, if you bat 300, you're a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, right. And we all understand that if you bat 300 in the game of baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. So if you get 17% of the women, whatever that looks like for you, if you get 17% of the women you're talking to, that's probably a pretty high number. So it's a lot of men, they just need to first stop trying to just think like a woman, think like a man, get around some other men. And what we tell you might seem strange, but then just try it. And it's not, but it's also how you attempt these things. So some men just they're going to attempt it, and a woman knows it's feeble, it's useless, and it's gonna turn them off immediately. But it is going to be a case by case basis. There aren't some magic beans, right? Beans that are out there that you just plant the ground, they just gonna spring up like that. They really have to listen and learn to what's being said, and then try it, because there is no substitute for practice. You have to do this, right? Just like if someone went to college, they got all this book smarts, but they never tried to apply the knowledge they've learned. You'll know, right? And this is why you have colleges offering all these internships, because they want you to have a skill set. Hey, you just learned some stuff. Let's have you put this to use, right? You learn this. Well, it changes a little bit when you're in the real world. So here you go. Let's get on out there and make it happen. And you learn by doing. And they have to be able to at least assess the situation. Like, oh, hey, this happened. Oh, maybe I don't want to do that. Watch how she pulled away. If you touched her arm or you touched her hand gently and she wasn't okay with that. Okay, cool. But I don't ever ask, oh, hey, can I touch you? You want to see some, especially if she like you, you going to ask her this?
That was that. You just dried it all up, bro. You just dried it all up. You just turned
the fountain off. Right.
Off. Women don't like that. And I don't care how many women tell you the contrary. They do not respond well to that. There is a way to do it that way, but it's almost jokingly. You know what I mean? I've done that before. I'll touch them and then say, "Oh, my bad. I was supposed to ask first, huh?" And then we're just kind of laughing. But I still made the approach. I was the man. I made the approach. She didn't jump. She didn't whatever. And guys need to understand, man, sometimes you got to bail. Sometimes when you realize it's not going right, you got to bail. She's constantly pulling her phone out. You know what I mean? She's constantly distracted. You truly accidentally bump into her and then she kind of jumps. Oh hell, you see any of that, bro? It's time to move on. She just have to get that free meal.
Man, I've had experiences where I'd have a woman over and everything was cool. We went out like, hey, you just want to come over for a minute? Like, yeah, I'll come over. And then she comes over and then how her body language changes, and I can see she's uncomfortable. Hey, you don't look like you're comfortable right now. If you want to leave, you can leave. I ain't no, because we have to be cognizant of this, because things might be great in one location, then you get so you come home, she comes to your spot, and then things change, and you have not engaged her physically at all. Maybe you poured her a drink or a glass of water or something, but she's not comfortable. Ask her, right. Hey, how are you feeling right now? If you ain't comfortable, you can leave. That's okay. I ain't keeping you here. So
right. And I would say, don't take it like that. I would say, get her out, figure out a way to take a walk. And then once you got her outside, make sure she takes all her stuff with her. Once you got her outside, have her go ahead and call your Uber. There's no need to go back upstairs. No, you want to be subtle with it. Some people just like get the hell out.
Yeah, I've had to just kick women out sometimes. Like, I've had a couple different experiences. I had one crazy. I can't even put that one on the air.
Yeah, don't put it on there. We'll say that for the back chat. But I got one, and I got it's hey guys. Y'all know I love telling stories. So it's time, y'all.
Everybody,
it's story time.
Sit down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
I got a story to tell. Listen, I was living in Miami, right? I'm living in a high rise. I'm living in Brickell, and there was a woman that I had met while at a strip club, right? Well, I met her and me and my homeboy met her and her friends at one of the local bars in Doral. We wound up, they wanted to go to a strip club. So we wound up in a strip club. And that night, this woman that I'm talking about, the strippers had pulled her onto like the stage, like the part of the stage where they kind of walk around the outskirts of the stage, the border of the stage. They had her shirt and bra off, bro. I couldn't get dollars out of my pocket fast enough because it was for her. Like, I know she's not a dancer. They got this girl, this regular girl, up on the stage. I'm like, yo, the more money I threw, the more the strippers were doing what they were doing to her. And my buddy went to the ATM. I don't know why he went away. That moment was crazy. So fast forward 3 months. And, I hit up old girl. I had to come by the crib. She came by the crib, was like Brother Tobias said. She walked in, bro. She froze up. I walked up, gave her a hug. She froze up like a statue. I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm like, all right. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I already know how she get down. You know what I mean? Like, I already seen it. Like, she want to play. But for whatever reason, she froze up. Maybe it's because she didn't have her girls with her. I don't know. All right, cool. I adjust my plan. Like, you know what? Let's take a walk. Now, I'm in downtown Miami. I'm in Brickell. So we go out, we walk across the bridge, we go into like Mary Brickell Village, and we like kick it, hit some bars, get some drinks, get some finger food, whatever. Now she's good. Right. All right, cool. We go back to the crib. And yeah, she didn't leave till the next morning. She was no longer frozen. But the point was, if I had tried to escalate what I was doing with her or implement the first plan I had for her when she walked in frozen like that, it wouldn't have worked at all. At all. So fellas, y'all need to adjust on the fly and just taking her out, taking a walk. You know what I mean? I wasn't holding her hand as we were going over the bridge and stuff. I'm being very respectful. Boundaries are up. But by the time we walked back, it was a different story. Like, she's basically pushing up against me. She's holding my hand. She's kissing me on my neck. It all changed. Right. And then people are like, well, it's because you got her drunk. We didn't even drink. We didn't even really drink like that. We didn't get lit like that. She had some wine, we had like finger food and stuff like that. So she wasn't drunk. And nor was I, because the whole time I'm thinking like, man, I remember she came in kind of cold. I don't want to get myself in trouble here. Now, this was the early 2000s. Now, today, if that were to happen, nah, bro, she got to go. I'm like, let's get you a water or a soda, like you said, Brother Tobias. Let me get you this soda. And I'm gonna put you, I'm gonna walk you out of here because I don't want to take any chances in this particular climate. So with this hashtag Me Too movement thing, bro, or people being so afraid of harassment and stuff like that, would you say that that's had a real big negative impact on dating today? Tobias might have walked away from the
Okay, can you repeat the question real quick?
Yeah, my bad. You probably went and got you some water or something. I was like, so with this whole hashtag Me Too and people being worried about harassment, do you think that really negatively affected the dating market today?
No, I don't. It'll affect, the professional spaces, right? If you're in the office or something like that, massively. Right, we know this, but dating, I don't think it will. Like, oh, hey, because that's where, if you think about it, the Me Too movement came from out of the professional spaces. Oh, this man in power did this. Oh, that happened to you, me, right? That's where it came from. It did not, with dating, it's just the R word, right? Oh, he, or he assaulted me.
Right.
So, if a man ain't doing nothing, he ain't supposed to. Right, you ain't got no problem. If how you mentioned it, how you adjust it, you switch it up, and things go, great. For the two of y'all, cool. But if they not, it's best just to go ahead and eject from that, because we all know if it's her word against yours in any situation, whether it's that R word or an assault or something, who they're gonna believe. Stay away from it. But that I don't think that's like Me Too, right? Me Too is like professional spaces.
That's facts, bro. If you find yourself as a guy and then you got some city official or county official or cop or whoever or HR comes to you and they tell you that, like, this uncomfortable or the R word, the only voice that pops in your head is this one.
Houston, we have a problem.
Because you got a serious problem, bro. You got a serious problem. So, man, I appreciate you popping up. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, we're going to have the last good man in Jersey on, and we're going to be talking about traveling, the importance of not just Black Americans, but all Americans. I think all Americans should travel. I think I'm shocked by folks who never left their state. You know what I mean? Barely left their city. I'm shocked by that. I've had people call me up and, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Medellin, or I'm in Seoul, or I'm in Tokyo. And they're like, why are you there? I'm like, why aren't you here with me? Like, what do you mean, why am I here? This is great. It's a different culture. This is beautiful over here. I'm looking at Mount Fuji. Like, are you kidding me? So we're going to have that discussion tomorrow, man. And we're also going to tie that discussion into the whole Passport Bros. And I'm going to start adding to that the Passport Sister movement as well, man. So I appreciate you coming through, man. You have any, do me a favor, plug yourself, tell people where they can find you, your YouTubes and everything is instant and all that stuff. And then any final thoughts you might have on this topic.
Cool. So yes, I can be found pretty much anywhere at Tobias the Traveler. So that's YouTube and Instagram. I'm far more active on YouTube though. Or you can, if you got questions, comments, concerns, you can hit me at help@tobiasthetraveler.com. Final thought on this one: 52-year-old on a TV show. She has not found what she was looking for. That's for sure. Unless it was just some fun. Men, if you're coming out, your spaces, you're just coming out your shell, get around some men that, you've heard, you listen to, that you can trust, and start asking questions, right? You really want to get out there and start dating. Ask some questions from some men that have been there and done that. If you're 23, don't be talking to 23-year-olds because they don't have the knowledge. Now, some might, dealing with, some 16, 17-year-olds, and they're going to be talking about high school, but get around, men probably 10 years, 15 years older than you that's had some wins, that's had some failures, and that are able to lace your shoes, provide you with some knowledge that you can internalize and learn from.
Man, that is fire. Thank you so much, brother, for coming through. I mean, I couldn't put it better myself, man. That's what's up. And yeah, I look forward to working with you, man. More importantly, man, I look forward to traveling with you, bro. I got some, yeah.
Quick question: did you get the email I sent you?
I did not. I mean, okay. I just didn't check. Let me. Okay. When did you send it?
Oh man, it was a while ago. It was probably the last time I came. Was I think it was a Gmail account, DL saying, but I know.
Oh, it's my Gmail. All right, cool. I'll check because I rarely check my Gmail. I have a Yahoo I use, DL underscore Saint at Yahoo.
Then not that's actually it. I can check my but I'm pretty much I remember because I asked you last time. I was like, he was like, yeah. I'm like, man, you got a Yahoo account?
Yeah.
Old school right there,
I got a Gmail too. It's just I'm stuck on the Yahoo, man. It's like I just got an iPhone. You see, I'm like slowly making my way into the new world.
I understand. This man is a trans. I'm sorry, I don't say trans. He is morphing from the Brontosaurus into modern day. I don't know. Fuck, that was going nowhere. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he just messed it up. Oh, you know what?
Get your words right, man. Get your thoughts out.
Bro, I gotta clown you on that one.
You big dummy.
Get your words right. But I appreciate you coming up, yo. I'm gonna find that email, man. I'm gonna read it. I'll read it tonight, and then I'll get you back, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, my bad. Like, and another thing too, best way to get a hold of me is Instagram. So if you send me an email and I don't respond, man, just get on one of your women. I'm sure you got plenty of them. Grab one of their Instagrams and send me an Instagram, and then I'll be like, yo, Tobias, what's good? So, but I appreciate you reaching out to me. I appreciate you always being here. Yeah, man. Let me get you a Don DeMar. Well, let me get you the horn clap for that. And I'm gonna holler at you soon, bro. We'll be back on here tomorrow at 6, man. Thanks again, bro.
I'll be there.
Perfect.
All right, later.
All right, but peace. So that was Brother Tobias, man. We got Brother Chris Smokey Hat with the $5 super chat, bro. Thank you so much, man. You're always rocking with a brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Late to the chat, but we'll catch the replay. Keep the great content coming, man. Thanks, bro. I'm definitely gonna try it, man. And like I said, this is a downrange podcast episode, which it's all about. This is the political wing of the I Really Want to Know world, right? So I think guys like, man, why this ain't political, man? This is just this little dating thing, but it is political because it is starting to affect the foundation of America. Like the loss of the nuclear family is a problem. And remember, at first it was just really affecting the lower classes. It was affecting the African American community, but now it's beginning to affect all communities, right? So I think the holdouts now, the Latino community is still a holdout, and the Asian community, but everyone else is going through this split household thing. This is where it all comes from, man. We have women out here and men out here who are just not connecting. We're not doing this. We're better doing this. We're better together than we are apart. They're missing. They're missing, and now they're leaving the country. So there's one more thing that I wanted to show, and I know a lot of people have seen this multiple times, but you're about to see it again. And this is why this is so important. This is why this is a political thing. Study predicts 45% of women will be single by 2030. Single men are lonely, but single women are empowered. So you see who wrote this. Single women are empowered, but they're going to be childless and single by 2030, 7 years from now. I mean, it's women are missing it. They just don't understand. And this is a problem. This is going to affect the way that they vote. This is going to affect the way money is moved around. Right? Because this is Morgan Stanley did this because they want to know where to put money. They want to know where to put investments. And apparently a lot of that investment is going to Chewy into pet needs, pet stuff. It's estimated that 45% of women aged 25 to 44 will be single by 2030, according to a study by Morgan Stanley. With the modern day market, nearly half of women in their childbearing years will be without a male counterpart. There are a few reasons for this prediction. Now, here's the thing. The prediction is based on numbers. They're just looking at it. But this is a problem. This is a problem for America. 45% of women aged 25 to 44 will be single. They put it right here. We're talking about women in their childbearing years. Nearly half of the women in their childbearing years won't be having kids. This is a problem. This is a problem on so many different fronts. On so many different fronts. And then the women who are having kids, they're raising them alone. Until the family law system changes and they go 50-50, which they're slowly moving towards that. They're getting towards that. They are slowly allowing men to be involved in their children's lives half the time, which is how it should be. It's best that we're together in one household, but whatever. We can't have that. In lieu of that, at least have the male influence on the child so the child can have both the yin and the yang. But half of the women childbearing years aren't even having kids. And they're making all this money. And they're gonna spend this money on stuff. They're gonna consume everything. They're gonna buy the designer clothes. They're gonna buy all of the cool furniture and gadgets and the pots and pans and whatnot. They're gonna buy all of the skin care stuff, the makeup, the nails polish, and all the rest of it. They're gonna spend a lot of money. They're gonna go out, buy purses. They're gonna go out. I mean, when you look at Hermes, man, you look at Birkin, you look at Chanel, you look at Gucci, you look at all these different Louis Vuitton. They're buying all this stuff up because they're trying to fill this hole, right? Because they're lonely, because women are social and they don't have any kids. They don't have a man or a significant other. They have money. And this is a problem for America, y'all. This is a problem. Now, the article goes on and it talks about how women feel empowered and it's okay and I don't need no man and all this stuff. That's all cap. That's all cap. At the end of the day, these women are going to wind up like the lady that's going to be on that TV show. 52 years old, single, with no prospects. And they're going to think that they can go travel to a different country and that they're going to find a guy that's going to sweep them off their feet and they're going to live happily ever after. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Ladies, you need to get you a guy when you are at your peak. You cannot wait until you are past it and think you're going to get a man when he is at his peak. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Now, if you kept your body up and everything, you just older, but you got a great body. I was at the salsa spot Friday night. I saw the most beautiful woman in the house. She had to be in her 50s. Her body was amazing. Amazing. Maybe she had some upgrades. Maybe, but it wasn't over the top upgrades. They look real. Her butt looked real. Maybe she had some work there. Her breast looked real. Maybe she had some work there. Right? Her face, you could tell she was older, but she was still very attractive. The most beautiful woman in the joint. She was. And she's talking to a guy. I think it was her dude. Maybe it was her boyfriend or husband or whatever. They were together. I don't think they were married. I think dude was dating her. He was trying to get on with her. She had on some pants. I mean, she was just beautiful. Out there dancing, having a good time. She can't compete with the 24-year-old who was in there. There was like a 7. Just playing kind of like 2 notches up from plain Jane. That 50-something beautiful woman cannot compete with that 20-something woman. Why? Because that 20-something woman can have babies. And no matter what, that guy at his peak, he's going to want children more often than not. So as fine as she was, and trust me, I would have entertained her. She could get it. You heard me? She could get it. As fine as she was, right? If she don't have any kids, she ain't never gonna have any. She'll never know that joy. Now, again, I don't know this woman. She maybe she was a single mom and, maybe her kids are grown. You see that a lot in the Latino space. Same club. I was in the club months ago and I met this Puerto Rican woman, beautiful woman, 2 kids. She had a grown child and her youngest was like 14, same age as my daughter. You know what I mean? So she was beautiful. Her husband was actually trying to mess up and, they were on the outs and she saw me and she was, man, look, when I say she was about it, she was about it. A woman who rarely goes out, you could tell. I was thinking like, ooh, boy, I hit a lick here. This is going to be cool. But, she's like, I'm in counseling. I'm going to take this counseling serious. I'm going to try to make it work for the sake, at least, for the sake of my children. So I respect her and I left her alone. But guess what? She still left me on her Instagram. She left a lifeline. She is still in touch with me. And when she's ready for me, all she got to do is reach out and she knows it. It's all about that game. But this is a woman who has her children. She's had her family, and she's dealing with a dude who's probably messed up. He's screwed up. Maybe he's going through his midlife crisis. He doesn't know who he has. He's out there thinking I could do better. He's a fool for letting this woman go. But as a gentleman, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back and let her make her choice. I don't want to get in the way. If she wants to, keep her family together, I respect her for it. But even this woman, she's in her 40s. Even this woman, she can't compete with her younger self. She's like, I don't know, 40 something. She's not going to be able to compete with a 20 something. So ladies, y'all need to understand that. Truly understand that, ladies. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here. Get the best guy you can get while you are in your prime. Get the best you can get. If you can get that top tier dude, great. Get him to marry you. You won the game. You won the game. Don't get mad when he cheats on you. He's probably gonna. It is what it is. There are a lot of men who don't cheat, but there are more men who do. He's probably gonna partake every now and then. He's a powerful man. He's traveling the world. He's doing stuff. He's making money. Women are throwing it at him left and right. It is what it is. So don't be mad when he cheats, but understand you won the game because you have the ring. You have the last name. You are the mother of his children. You are on the wheel. Like, where all the bodies are buried. You know where all the money is. You won. Any other woman out there he's just smashing? Well, that falls into that category, that 52-year-old lady from New York. What does she have? Nothing. She got some dude who's going to come in there and smash her and not even give her good fox. He's not even going to give her the good joystick. He's just going to run in there, half drunk, do whatever, leave. He ain't tripping because she's older. She's not as beautiful as she once was. He's not going to be in love with her. They're all going after these guys who have all these options. So he's just going to smash you. Keep it moving. Not even give you the good joystick. They're going to give you the old regular. I'm telling you, ladies, secure that guy now while you at your peak. If you're in your 30s, your young 30s, and quit playing. Go ahead and get you a dude. He might not be making six figures. He might not be 6 feet, but he loves you. He's crazy about you. He'll die for you. He'll do anything for you. Go ahead and holler at that guy. Go ahead and holler at him. You 30 something, man. Go ahead and give it a shot. Have your kids. It might work out. Got a real good chance of working out good for you. But he ain't making six figures, DL. Neither are you, baby. So how about y'all build together? If you're in your 40s, find your dude who's already had his kids. You know, if you're trying to have kids, you ain't never had none in your 40s. All right, it can be done, but it's hard. It's dangerous. But again, find that guy. You might not be top tier, but find that guy. Find that dude that's really into you. Ladies, that's the guy you want. You're not getting the 0.001% guy. You're not. I don't care how fine you are. He's just gonna smash. You're not getting it. It's just now you going for broke. It's all. You got it all on the line. Now find that guy who's really into you. He's gonna be there for you. He may not have all that money. He might not be able to get you the red bottoms. He might not be able to get you a private jet ride to Vegas and put you in the penthouse. He might not be able to do that. But maybe he can do everything else. Get that dude. Maybe he's making $80,000 a year with the government. Maybe his pension is like real good. Maybe he has multiple properties. Get that guy. Add value to him. And if you're in your 50s, good luck. That's all I got to say about that. Good luck. Because I'm in my 50s. And trust me, I ain't trying to holler at 50-year-old women. Just keep it 100. I don't look like this when I'm out and about. I shave. I groom properly. I put on my real clothes. I'm not walking around with Beastie Boy t-shirts on. Nah, I put on my real clothes. I'm out there looking like a proper gentleman. And trust me, I ain't going after 50-somethings. Although 50-somethings are coming at me. I'm not really trying to mess with no 50-somethings. I'm messing with the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings. I ain't dealing with the 50-somethings. Like, you got to be top of your game, tippy top of your game. If you in your 50s, if you my age or older, you got to be at the tippy top of your game to get me to try to holler at you. For real. I'm just keeping it 100. Now, if your body is on point and all that, and you know you got all your original equipment and everything, and you sexy, we can do this. But then I'm gone. High five. Good game, shorty. Thank you. You smack me on my butt, I smack you on your butt. See you. We gone. Just keeping it 100. I'm going to tell you the truth. The average guy probably just going to lie to you, but that's what he's going to do too, because he's gunning for the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings. You know what I mean? So if you're in your 50s, ladies, I don't know, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I'm sorry that I had no better information than that, but that's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all. You know, that's the game. Don't get mad at me, bro. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's how the game is played. So thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. I really appreciate y'all. This was cool. I really didn't know what I was going to talk about today until like 20 minutes before the show. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, man, what am I going to talk about? But I remembered I read that article and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this. I'm not trying to be mean, ladies, and I'm not trying to, say anything or, send some sort of message. I'm not. I'm just letting you know it's hard out here. If you're single and you're past your prime, ladies, you're going to have to adjust your objectives if you want to win this game. That's all I'm saying. You're going to have to put in a lot of work. And there are plenty of men out there who want to holler at you. I said, I want to holler at the 50-year-old or take her seriously. I probably won't. You know what I mean? It takes a lot. You have to be the tippy top spear. But guess what? There are a lot of invisible men out there that would love to be with you, but they might not be making the kind of money that you say you must have. So I'm just saying, look over those requirements and adjust accordingly. Find you a good man. They're out there. There are tons of them. There are tons of them. There's a lot of invisible dudes out there. Take the glasses off and see everybody around you. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it there. I think I beat up on it, but I got love for y'all. I really do. If you see me out there, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad. I ain't. Come holler at me. It is what it is. Brother Dino Dinosaur in the house. What's good, fam? Brother DL Rollo will be battling tonight on Fresh and Fit. Word, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna be going back and forth between Rolo and Melanie King. Melanie King is doing the Shoot Your Shot show. I'm gonna go over there and see what that looks like. I just like watching these dudes try to holler at her. It is hilarious. I'm gonna go over there and watch that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be bouncing back between that and Fresh and Fit. I want to see what Rolo has to say. Hey, I'm gonna go on a record, man. You know what? I'm gonna have to do that show this week too, maybe Thursday. I understand where Rolo is coming from when he's talking about the vasectomy, guys. I understand where he is coming from. I get it. It's extreme. I get it. I'm gonna talk about this more on Thursday. You know what I mean, Brother Dino? Enjoyed the chat, D. I appreciate that, bro. I always enjoy you coming through. Again, Brother Chris Smokey Hat, thank you so much for the $5, bro. You know what it is. Straight to the hookers and cocaine fund. You know how we get down. Just kidding. I need that camera. You know what I mean? I need that camera and I need those wireless mics. So you guys are going to see that. You're going to see some upgrades soon. I'm working on some other stuff that has nothing to do with what we do here, just, life stuff. As soon as I get this stuff sorted out, y'all going to see some upgrades coming, and then you're going to see me out in the streets. I got some ideas for some stuff I want to bring you. You're going to see more women on the platform. Shushu has agreed to do 2 shows a month. I am so happy she agreed to do that. So we're going to be bringing Shushu on. We're going to get Sister May on as much as we can. Hopefully we get her on at least one more time before the year's over, twice if we're lucky. And I have my Hollywood friends I'm going to bring on because I want to talk about Hollywood, especially with this Cleopatra thing. I want to talk to my Hollywood friends about this because I watched that Cleopatra documentary. Listen, y'all, Cleopatra was not black. All right. She was black by American standards, but she was not black by the world standards. She's Greek. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Her people, Alexander the Great and them. She's a Ptolemy. She was a Ptolemy. It is what it is. History is important. We need to understand history. We cannot change history because we don't like the way it looks. We just can't do that, guys. So what Netflix did was wrong. What Hollywood tried to do was wrong, and they are paying the price for it as they should. And the people in Netflix knew better. That whole thing, man, that Cleopatra was, no, they blew that. And it was so, there's a Nubian queen in history that actually fought the Romans and had the Romans at bay. Rook told us about it on the Warrior. We had the show about the warrior women in history. Go back and watch that show on this platform. Rook told us about that. There are real life examples of strong, powerful, black by American standards, but Nubian, because this particular, she was a king. She was a true king. She called herself king. She was Pharaoh. Candace, you know what I mean? This is true. A Nubian, dark-skinned, fierce sister who led from the front. She led her army from the front. That little scene in the Netflix thing with Cleopatra with a sword. Man, get out of here. I'm gonna leave it there. But there are real historical women from history. There would have been a great story to tell, but they went with Cleopatra. They did what they did. Cleopatra was not black. It is what it is. And Brother Dino was like, in 1 hour, approximately. Yep. Just claim Sheba. Yeah, there's so many people they could have claimed. But anyway, that's it. I don't want to turn that into a long ass rant. I'm gonna get Rook on here. We're gonna really go back. We talked about Woman King and how messed up the Agoji was and how bad the homie were, how evil that empire was. That's how my people got here. And this thing with Cleopatra was all wrong. It is what it is. Brother Rook hit me up and he was just like, bro, are you looking at this? I watched it because he sent it to me and I watched the whole thing, all episodes. I think it was like 4 episodes. I watched all of them, man. It was garbage. It was garbage. They just cherry picking and putting stuff in there, and it is what it is. So, all right, that's that. I got to go, y'all. Thanks for rocking out with me. Y'all know I love each and every one of y'all. I'm DL Saint. This is the Downrange Podcast, man. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. 6 p.m. I'll see y'all, man. Be there or be square. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.
Netflix is wrong.